So we now have 16 chickens on our property that aren't even ours.
Welcome to Red's Homestead!
Good morning, one and all. Welcome back to Red's Homestead. We have a ton of stuff to do today. All right, that about does it for morning chores. Perfect timing, about an hour and a half work. Now, I gotta go get my hair cut. Gotta start looking a little less ragged around the ears. But as you can tell, getting a haircut was a bust. Got there was like 20 people in line waiting to get a haircut. I don't like waiting in lines. So I'll have to save that for a weekday. So what I'm gonna do now is grab this log, see if I can mill my own lumber with a new little tool. Well, I got it a long time ago, but I'm finally gonna start trying it out. And also probably later today, may not be able to see her, but Red is down there on the side of the fence. We decided to try to capture the chicks and introduce them to our flock. Probably gonna try doing a dog crate, put food and water inside of it and see if we can close them up there at night if they go inside of it. Reason being, we had a pretty bad hawk attack. Well, I wouldn't say it was pretty bad because the hawk was not successful, thanks to Shannon's adding of the fencing. But I was walking around over here and I just heard so much flapping and chirping coming down there where we usually put the chicks out on grass, and I see these wings just going crazy against it. And then I yell at Shannon, who was in with the ducks and chickens right over there, like, hey, we got a hawk going after the chicks. So she jumps the fence and runs, and I'm going that way, and then the hawk disappeared and flew away. But luckily we put the hardware cloth down, or it would have easily been able to tear out those chicks. So for that reason, with the hawks and crows getting crazy, We're gonna try to capture these chicks. Let me show you something else that we just found out today. Apparently this blondie, I guess we'll call her, under the stairs has been there for quite a while because her chicks have hatched. So, looks like she's now sitting on, I see at least 3, and there's more than likely 3 or so more in front of her. So we may be adding even more to the flock. So first things first, we are going to be changing out my regular cutting blade on the chainsaw to an actual ripping chain. The biggest difference is the actual chisel of the chain. This one right here, which is meant to do your cross cuts, has a full chisel, whereas your ripping blade only has a semi chisel, so it's gonna cut a lot easier going linear with the wood. At least I've never used it before, but that's what you're supposed to use it for. So let me get these things switched out. So it turns out that little vertical saw blade thing is junk. Kept coming undone and coming loose like every 5 seconds. Didn't even bother filming it because I didn't have much hope when I started messing around with it. So I'm gonna go the tried and true method, string. Hey, the blade's cutting really well. That's part good. It was a lot of work, but a 4x7 by 10 feet long maple post. That's a few $100s of wood right there. Not perfectly dimensional lumber, but hey, it'll work. I love it. Now I'm gonna put it in the barn and just let it dry out for a very, very long time. So that music festival was pretty fun. There must not be a whole lot of stuff to do in town because it felt like the entire town was there. But it was awesome. I mean, great food, food trucks type stuff, and barbecue joints. Had a bunch of cover bands, mostly playing like Southern rock, and like John Mellencamp. And this guy is doing a whole lot of like Tom Petty.
Well, she was an American girl, raised on promises. She couldn't help thinking that there was a little.
So it was pretty cool, and got back a little late. So here we are the next day. And the chicken, the hen that we named Blondie, that was under the stairs over there, well, apparently she was there for a long time before we found her, because yesterday, the very next day, we found her chicks. And she's out here with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 chicks. Let's see if we can get a look at her a little closer. So it looks like more than 6. Holy smoke, she has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. This lady has 9 chicks. Wow. And Red, the other one that had chicks, I think I hear them on this side. There they are. So that's Red with her 6 chicks. So we now have 16 chickens on our property that aren't even ours. And we keep going back and forth on whether we're gonna capture these, add them to our flock. We're sitting on the no right now because we're trying to control our flock to be a specific type of egg laying. So the new ones that we bought, the Easter eggers, whenever they breed with our sapphire gems, their chicks are supposed to grow up and lay olive colored eggs. And I think selling, that's going to be a cool feature to sell. And we don't want to mix it in there with the who knows what kind of breed that is, chicken. But what's still a possibility, especially if they end up getting into my garden here, I still have the chickshaw. And I still have all the butchering supplies. So it could just be a little source of meat, but I don't think those guys are gonna raise larger than 3 pounds each from the looks of them.